Hey there, my name is Daniel Pitchbeck. I'm one of the founders of Reality Sandwich and Evolver.net. And I met Propaganda Anonymous a few years ago now, like 2-3 years ago. We had a good synchronistic first meeting, right? Yeah, on the street. And you had my book in your bag or something like that?
I did.
Yeah.
What was the book?
2012,
Yeah.
The Return of Quetzalcoatl. I know very little about hip hop culture, so I'm going to be, moderating, to the best of my ability with propaganda. But I think this is a really exciting gathering and important subject to explore in this way. So propaganda, is a great writer. He's been doing amazing articles and interviews for the website. His music is super strong. He just started a new website, p1of21.mov, where there's a free download. What's the name of the song?
The EP, Total Cortisone.
Total Cortisone. And I'm going to let him introduce everybody else. And I'm really glad that you guys came out for this. And hopefully this will be the first of a series. I think we can really evolve a deeper dialogue around hip hop, maybe some other music forms and consciousness, and see where that takes us. So I'm going to give you propaganda.
Thank you, Daniel. So this is good. The volume is good, guys? All right, cool. All right, so as Daniel said, I go by Propaganda Anonymous. I'm an MC in a scene amongst many MCs in the audience at the moment. And I'm also a writer. I write for realitysandwich.com, as Daniel said. And basically, I want to let everyone know why exactly this event has been called. It's two kind of reasons. One, everyone I think out here feels something going on at the moment. Not just in the world and the news, but also in our personal lives. There feels like some kind of emergence. In a time of somewhat emergency. And this emergence is something that has a lot of potential, and it feels like this potential needs to be. It's momentum that we need to kind of go with at the moment. We can't just let it be. This is something we have to be involved in and actively working with. So the idea for this conference came about really when I started writing at Reality Sandwich, but also through a conversation I had with Daniel when we were just talking about consciousness and hip-hop and whatnot, and we were just sharing ideas. And I've got nothing but support from you guys, man, so thank you with a lot of these ideas. And another kind of impetus event was last October, a conference, a 3-day conference up in Harlem at the Black National Theater, which was put together by the Universal Zulu Nation and the Universal Kemetic Moors. One of the organizers is someone on this panel right now, Dr. Shaka Zulu, along with many others. They called this conference, and I was there for 2 of the 3 days. And what I found when I was up there were very insightful commentaries about the situation, the world and New York is in. And I heard a lot of things that I've been reading on Reality Sandwich from, the hip hop community in New York. One of which, things like alternative systems, alternative currencies, being ready and willing to build something when Babylon falls, you know what I mean? When the system collapses, so to speak, or how to build a system that we can ease into quickly, when, as we see right now, with all the markets, the financial markets just falling apart. So those were 2 reasons that I kind of put this together. And another thing is I see this as kind of like a collective cipher, throughout the city, throughout the world even, where one event can spark another event. I consider this somewhat a continuation from what I saw up in Harlem in October, Like I was inspired by what I saw, and I saw that I had some kind of resources at my hand, and I wanted to really build, And those resources were, just people I knew and people I was building with, and my own motivation for doing something. So what I hope that people out here take away from this is inspiration to do your own thing that is similar to this, because this took a lot of work, and this was all DIY, and put this together from crumbs in my pocket and just building personally with everyone up here right now, And And I consider this a success, and I'm just very happy you guys are here. So we're gonna hop right into it. The name of this event is Infinity Blessings, looking at the spiritual, philosophical foundations of hip-hop culture. And I will briefly tell you who's on the panel. We have Allah B from the Nation of the Gods and Earths. Right on. We have Dr. Shaka Zulu from the Universal Zulu Nation. Brother Shep, who will be joining us shortly from the original Black Panther Party and the Universal Zulu Nation. He's coming soon. King Downing, an attorney and an activist. Right now, give it up for King. And as I said, YG is with the Optimist Foundation, Universal Zulu Nation. Give it up for him. And myself, Propaganda Anonymous. So we're just gonna get right into it. And so without further ado, Allah B.
Peace, everyone.
Peace.
Of course, we are glad that you are here, but first I'd like to give my thanks to our organizers, all right? Propaganda Anonymous and Peter Pinchback, as well as Daniel, excuse me, Daniel, I'm sitting right next to you.
That's my dad's name.
All right, I just met him outside. And all of the panelists here, I'm glad we started out with some good humor. And all of the panelists here, but more importantly, that you took your time to be here to participate in a seminar of this nature. You know, the spiritual and philosophical roots of hip-hop culture. For me, it means a lot to deal with such a subject because all my life, I believe I had dealt with the culture of hip-hop. It wasn't called hip-hop. It wasn't even classified as a culture. Not to get ahead of everything, but it went all the way back to rap. And for me, rap has always been what was a tradition in the communities, all right? The average person would, of course, say the black community, but it has always been a tradition in the community that the elders would always speak to the youth to give them their traditions, their cultures, their values of the community. As we always said, that it takes a village to raise a child. And I was a child that was raised in the village of Harlem. And Harlem for me was one of the most culturally enlightening environments in the world because it was a non-traditional teachings that was fostered in the community of Harlem, or the village of Harlem. And when I say non-traditional, of course, I mean it wasn't your standard formalized education that we had got in the schools that we later learned that was academically deficient. But I won't go down that track. As it was said, I'm a member of the Nation of Gods and Earths that originated out of Harlem in its modern day and time, but its roots emanated from integrity, that there's no beginning, no ending to, as we say, the Nation of Islam. And I don't mean it by way of a religion, but I speak of it as a culture, a way of life. And that culture, way of life has always been manifested as I, self, Lord, and Master. And that put the ominous on each individual to be their own self as their own master and Lord their own world according to supreme mathematics. I don't know if any of you are overly familiar with the Nation of Gods and Earths. We was once called the 5%ers as a result of a study